Are you stuck and dead, or are you unstuck and alive? That is the question of the day. And listen, I got some amazing brand new authors with us. I'm so excited to be here with Todd and Steven and authors of Unstuck and Alive. We're going to be talking about some really important things. This is the type of thing where you want to share with your friends, get them involved, because I'll tell you what, most people are not fully alive. So, Todd, let's jump right into you, my friend. What is this book about?
Come on, Carrie, thanks for having us on. What a joy to be with you. You know, this book gives the opportunity for folks to take a step back and evaluate the questions that they are already thinking about anyway, but gives them a pathway as we guide them through the process to find presence, build a
Mm.
perspective and a posture that can help them understand how they can find purpose in their everyday lives. It's that mystery thing that we look for, since the beginning of time. We've all been asking questions. We call it different things like purpose or meaning or value. We all want it, and very few of us feel like we got it. And so, by no means do Stephen and I feel like we're the gurus that have it all figured out. But
We don't.
after guiding hundreds of people on backpacking trips to get them to a place where they can discover what it's like to become unstuck and alive, this gives them a tool that they can practice in their everyday life.
I love everything about this. I'm a big nature guy. I love cycling. Something shows up when you're out away from the distractions. You have this website called Way Forward Adventures. I'm going to drop in the link. It's, Tanisha, if you could pop that in the link as well, but it's literally wayforwardadventures.com. Stephen, did you go on one of these trips? If so, what in the world happened and how does that relate to the book?
Yeah. So I have been on the trip, is the short answer, and it was amazing. But I was invited. The way this all began is Todd and I have a mutual friend named Terry Pham. Shout out to Terry, who knew us both and had been even served on the board of Way Forward. And he had invited me on trail multiple times, and every time I wanted to go, but I couldn't we couldn't get the dates to align. And so I decided, in advance that I was going to make it happen. I called him up. I said, "Hey, Terry, let's go." And Terry's like, "You're not going to believe this. I've done, I don't know, 7 trips, 7 years in a row, but I'm not doing one this year." I'm like, "You got to be kidding me." And so I prayed about it. I was like, "You know what? I'm going to do it." And so I said yes. And it was an incredible adventure. And what was happening in the background that was really cool was I've probably been working on this book for 15, 20 years, probably my whole life, you could say. And so when I experienced what Way Forward had to offer, and I experienced the misogi of purpose, is what I call it, it was just, I had to invite Todd in, and I'm grateful that he said yes.
So what did happen? Did God show up in a certain way? Did you get lost in the woods? What kind of happened?
Yes and yes. No, I did not get lost in the woods.
Barely got out.
But God did show up in a big way. Yeah. The thing for me, Carrie, like if I'm going to get real direct, what I would say is it happened to me before I even went on trail. So as soon as I said, I'm going to do it, and my friend Terry said, I can't do it, I started like creating this dream list of people that I wanted to go on trail with, the who's who of awesome, purposeful dudes and, and we're just going to go out and we're going to crush this trip. And that's very much the way that I operate. But as I was writing that list in my quiet time, I just felt this nudge. It's like, hey, this is my trip, not yours. And so I want to lead you. Like, I had no audible voice of God or whatever, but I just felt this sense of like, hey, turn loose of the trip and let me show you who to invite. And I started to invite people, and they were people that I didn't know very well, that I didn't like very much, that et cetera, that I thought never in a million years it would go. And over again, people said yes. And when I just was faithful with that, what I saw happen when people go out into this environment and are led in the ways that Todd's group leads people through that time, that such purposeful time in the wilderness, I experienced life in a really, really cool way. And so when you experience life in that kind of way, you want to help other people experience it too. And so, like I said, that's why I wanted to invite Todd, and here we are.
I love it. We're live on Instagram as well. So, hey, quick
And
question.
Carrie, I would
Yeah.
say, I got the opportunity to guide that trip, and it was night one that a couple guys shared their stories, and everything shifted.
What do you tell me more? Yeah, what happened?
It's that environment where folks are sitting around. It was raining. We were under a tarp, and all of a sudden, you get this invitation to share your story with a group of guys. That seems like a normal invitation, that you would get. Hey, we're all out to lunch. Let's, hey, we've never met. Tell me who you are. But typically, we keep things so on the surface. It's all about what I
The
do.
football team, the soccer
Exactly.
World Cup. Yeah, yeah.
And man, that night, things just opened up. I mean, Neuner went first. He shared about some things in his past that honestly, he's like, man, I don't know how these guys are going to think about me. Then another guy goes after him and just totally opens up and doesn't even have the same faith background, but all of a sudden it's like, hey, we're getting real. We're talking about what's actually happening beneath the surface. And things get unstuck in those moments that have been holding folks back for their whole life. And so the
Wow.
idea of this book is, how do we take that environment, which, Way Forward takes 600 or 700 people on trail each summer, but there's, millions of folks that are asking the same question. And so it gives them the opportunity to in their everyday life, slow down and start to think about what is keeping me stuck. What's robbing me from the opportunity to experience life the way that my heart desires it.
And Carrie, what I would just add onto that, just because Todd did, told you a little bit what's in the Way Forward sauce is just so awesome. What I will tell you is that group of men that didn't really know each other. I was the kind of common denominator between everybody, right?
Right.
They didn't all know each other. The connection and the community built in such a short time was just mind blowing to see and experience. I mean, the relationships are a whole nother level.
But let's talk about that. And again, I only had my phone up because I was putting this on Instagram.
Sure.
No, I was really, see. But many times these are security blankets.
Yeah.
You're in line at the grocery store, you're in the elevator, So literally you guys are in the rain, there's a tarp, you're in nature. Stephen,
no tech,
busts out and is like, look, the Holy Spirit leads him. He shares, he's vulnerable. It inspires this authentic, reciprocal action. You see it, Todd. And what? Like that quick, people are already masks off?
That's the way it rolls. It seems like we've, created this idea to find that spot. We've got to work really hard. We've got to figure it out. It's like we've got to attain it. And the reality is we've got to stop trying so dang hard. We've got to quit trying to multitask all the time. And we've got to be real with what's going on beneath the surface. And it takes one person. And for that group, it was Stephen to step in and say, hey, this is who I really am. And then everybody else breathes a sigh of relief. Because it's like, gosh, maybe for the next 4 days, I get to actually be myself.
Dang.
And that's just not how we live our normal lives. Like we have masks that we put on. And sometimes those masks are who we think other people want us to be, masks of who we wish we were. But very rarely is it, just being authentic with who I actually am.
And people are literally dying from this, right? I mean, literally.
Especially guys, like suicide, right?
Yeah. I recently lost a friend who took his own life, who on the surface, I still don't know. But literally on the surface, everyone around him in his orbit was just blown away and grieved, and none of us had any idea, right? And I don't know what it is, but what I do know is like that is a common thing. I see too many of us, and I've struggled with this too. It's like just that ability to be open, honest.
I'm with you, man.
Right? I mean, we talk about so much nonsense, and people like, and we have people drowning all around us. And usually when we drown, we're quiet.
Mm-hmm.
right? And so it's like not there was no big, big signal that my friend was gonna end his life.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. I'm glad that this is being talked about. You have in your subtitle the word lies. So let's unpack that in a moment. Todd, I got to ask a question though. Are you on Instagram? Because I'm tagging Steven, I'm tagging Wade
I
Forward. What
am
about you? What's your handle? Tell
Todd
everybody, man.
Todd Pinkston.
I thought it was
TODD,
the Todd Pinkston.
TODDPIN.
PINK, like the color, STON.
I got you. I see your bald head. I got
Let's
you. You're
go.
with
Let's
me.
go.
You're
Hey,
with me,
we
man.
got the same barber, you know?
I'm
I knew
with
I
you,
liked you
man.
from the moment I saw you.
Okay, we got this. So let's talk about the lies because, in my favorite book, our enemy woke up today and said, how can I steal, kill, and destroy Todd,
Yeah.
Carey, and Stephen?
Yeah.
But, Jesus says, how can I give them life and life abundantly? What are the lies that we're believing?
That's right. And I think even the idea of believing lies, we oftentimes want to try to pile more stuff on top. It's like, man, if I want to find life, even if we keep opening up the good book that you just referenced, we think of it through the lens of what else do I have to do? Do I have to memorize more verses? Do I have to, do deeper studies? Do I have to, understand the characters of the Greek or the Hebrew? And all the while, there's this hum beneath the surface that's like, you'll
Mm.
never be good enough. If they
Oh,
really knew
yeah.
you, they wouldn't actually love you. It's
Wow.
just over the next hill. You just have to get a little bit more. You're not worth pursuing. You don't have what it takes. And so we filter it through that lie that's going on that came out of, something in our childhood. It's like, no matter how great our parents are, we end up with some voids. Like it's just the nature of life. We live in a fallen world. And so we fill them in with a lie that it must be me. There's something wrong with me. And so we then are trying to go after and can I find my identity in what I do and what I make and what people talk about me. And I think the biggest hurdle to finding your identity and becoming truly alive is that slowing down to say, hey, what's the lie I'm believing that's keeping me from getting there? And I
That's
think that's
good.
the number one thing that keeps people stuck. And so we share this illustration in the book about a beaver dam. One day we walked out here on property and the whole lower field was flooded. And we're looking around and all of a sudden we find this creek that a beaver had dammed up overnight. And in those moments, like you don't overthink the situation. You don't get an engineer. You don't try to, no, you grab a pickaxe, you grab a shovel, you go to the dam and you start knocking it out. And as soon as you start breaking it, there's so much momentum behind it that the water just starts flowing again.
Yeah, it does.
And I think it's the same thing of like when we stop believing the lies that have kept us stuck, it's amazing how life just flows again. It
Wow.
just starts coming out. And so it's like, even going back to that moment on trail or, when you think about the podcast, I mean, Carrie, you were on the podcast and shared your story. It's like, man, if folks haven't gone on there and listened to that, it's an incredible story about some
Amen.
things in your life that kept you stuck. And when we
Hmm.
start realizing what those lies are, man, it's like the walls come down and life starts flowing out again. And so that's a rich part of the book that unlearning the lies is a powerful moment that we have to go through in order to start to feel life the way we were designed to live.
Wow. This is a message I just put especially for men, but I think
Yeah.
there's let's talk about that. A guy's like, man, I need this. I got to go on trail. I got to do this. But what about my wife? Let me, come on. Is that just selfish? What would you say? I think you even shared, even when we were working on the book in the beginning, male, female, supporting. There's been some cool stories. What do you got?
Well, I'll let Todd go deeper, but I mean, from our group, I can tell you we had a reunion dinner, and Todd actually happened to be in Dallas. He's up in Colorado, but he happened to be in Dallas. We got the group together, and we went around, and we just had the wives share about the difference in the men since they'd come back off a trail, and unanimously across the board, they felt like they had a better husband come home from being on trail. And so, I mean, I'll
Wow.
expand on that, but I mean, they're just firsthand like transformation. Like how does that happen?
Yeah, it's for sure the number one hurdle. I mean, the people that go on trail are the busiest, they have the fullest schedules, they have young kids, sometimes both husband and wife are working. And what happens afterwards? I mean, I showed up at a church in Midlothian, Texas, and lady comes up to me, tears in her eyes, and
Mm.
it's it's just the husband I have now is so different than the husband I had before. Thank you for what you do. I show up at a CrossFit gym in Richardson, Texas, and same thing. Wife comes up and is like, I don't know what happened on that trail, but my husband is a new man. And so it's like
Wow.
the wives that get to experience their husbands going on trail. For them, it's an investment. If you were to
Yeah.
sit a wife down and say, "Hey, for 4 days, you gotta take care of the home front, the kids," but that investment will pay dividends for the next decade or the rest of your life. Is it worth it? It's a no brainer. They say
Mm.
yes. And so after the
Absolutely.
fact, I mean, there's been spouses that say anytime my husband or wife wants to go, it's a yes. We will make it work. And so it typically starts out with guys. Guys are the ones that we're a whole lot easier to say yes to an adventure. And then when the transformation happens, then it just ripples out from that.
And the
So
women
Guys are
want to
bringing their
go.
you
kids on
have
trail.
women ones.
Women, oh yeah, absolutely. About a third of our trips are adult women. And
Wow.
these are stay-at-home moms. These are not, granola ladies. They're coming with their bags of makeup. Like
Granola.
they are your everyday, Dallas, Texas, Houston, Texas, Tulsa, women that they have seen what the trip produces. They've seen what happens when you can have uninterrupted conversations. I mean, women will weep as they talk about their trip and just say, I got to sit by a lake with one of my best friends and have a 2-hour conversation without my phone buzzing in my pocket. I didn't have to plan something for the family, and I didn't have a kid interrupt our darn conversation. And it's like the life that comes out of that it's powerful. And of course, they're connecting with their creator. They're getting to learn more about their identity, which is kind of the next step that the book moves into. Once we start unlearning the lies, man, we can fill that back in with who we've actually been created to be, not this nonsense that's been rolling around in our head, and that changes everything.
I love the website. You obviously can get the book. What is the tool here?
So the tool is the Purpose Illuminator. So
Oh yeah.
yeah.
That's
So,
right.
yeah. So about
That's
the
what started it all.
So as part of the book, the vision for me was, I initially I've struggled with purpose my entire life. I mean, it
Yeah.
has been one of those things that has just been a struggle, and living inside of transformational communities like Strategic Coach in particular, Carrie. Like I know that's where
Love
we
strategic
met.
coach.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Dan's questions and the time every quarter to sit and reflect and think about our thinking and see what worked and what didn't over the past quarter, and where we were stuck and where we felt alive. Just illuminated to me that that I had some hardcore patterns, and we named those patterns in the book. We've got names for the patterns, not because we're clever, but because literally I've lived in each one of the stuck places long enough to name them as a home. And what I realized for myself was that the idea of purpose, really for me to be in a healthy, unstuck place with it and fully alive, it needed to become a habit of daily living and not a destination. And I had really bought into the lie of that it was a destination. And there's a lot of maps that I had bought, and like, well, if we get here, we do this, and I would climb the map and I would, reach a summit, a false summit where I thought I'd, reached it, but only to find out that it was empty and meaningless. And so I built a tool for myself, nerd that I am. It was a spreadsheet, an Excel spreadsheet that literally every day I would go through some questions to make sure that I was aligned on the day. How do I live? I don't know what tomorrow is. I had no idea what my burning bush is or where I'm going to, what God's got for me. But I know today that I'm going to be on the phone, or I'm going to be on this with, Carrie and Todd. And I know, this is the biggest, I know the questions. And as I locked in on that and how I show up as my true self, my best self, most authentic self, good things happen, right? And so I did that forever. It was just me and my little spreadsheet. And then I had an opportunity with a group of men that I was in through Entrepreneurs Organization, my forum, and I shared it with them. And I was terrified because I was exposing myself. And I found on the other side of it nodding in me too. And I was like, well, surely these guys don't struggle with it. They're killing it. I admire these men. They're such awesome husbands and fathers and entrepreneurs. I'm like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
And so then eventually that turned into an invite to share it with another larger group of entrepreneurs, and then eventually another larger group. And eventually through that process, we thought maybe I shouldn't make an Excel spreadsheet. We should design it. So that's what's available in the book. But it really was built out of helping me stay aligned on my purpose daily.
That's right.
Wow. I love this. So what do you hope happens? We're talking in a year from now, and like the book's been out, you got multiple versions all over the place. What are you saying, man, that writing the book was worth it? You got a podcast. I mean, this is like turning into a movement.
I think you nailed it with that word. Like that it would be a movement that's impacting the way dads are raising their kids. It'd be a movement that changes the way folks are hanging out and having conversations around the dinner table or around the fireplace. And then ultimately that folks would see the value of investing deeply into what's going on in their heart, whether it's through a way forward trip or through something else, that they would, Stephen mentioned the word misogi. I love this Japanese tradition that you say yes to something really hard. That, I'll just throw, I said yes to 100K this year, and it changes so much about my day. Like it changes the way I eat. It changes obviously my workout routine, but it orients so much towards, that goal or that idea. And I think that's what we get to see on a way forward trip. And not everybody will go on trail, but the idea of really investing deeply in those habits that are going to transform your life, and in a practice that's going to change the way you see every day. And so, man, we want to see a movement happen. We want to see more folks living with purpose, not because they've attained it like it's somewhere else, but because it's right beneath their feet.
That's so good.
The timing is now, Kerry. I mean, I don't know if you saw the Elon Musk interview recently where he said in 10 years, if he fulfills his vision, money won't matter, and we'll just all have like unlimited free time. And I don't know what anyone thinks about Elon Musk, but what I do notice about the guy, he's often wrong about timelines, but directionally, he's often right about technology and what it can do.
Yeah.
And so I just think if you take away time and money, okay, there are so many people, and I know because I've been in all the pits, that they feel that their job is their purpose. They feel like just being a father is their purpose. They feel like, so there is an opportunity, I think, like never before, for people to really think about this conversation, because nothing matters without relationships and purpose if you take away time and money. Like that's it. And so I feel like we are in this incredible opportunity as we're in the fourth industrial revolution for people to think more deeply about this and be more intentional. And I think those that don't are really going to struggle. They're going to be where I've been, the stuck place, and I've been dead inside, right?
Yeah.
And I look fully alive on the outside. I mean, I look like, you can look like you're killing it, and we've all probably been there, like where we on the outside, you feel like you're killing it, but there's something off. And so I just want my prayer is that this does become a movement of people just living unstuck and alive daily.
That's right.
So good. Couple things here as we land the plane. One, we're just going to bug Stephen, Todd, and I here. We're going to show his website here because, Stephen J. Neuner here. Come on. I think it's going to show. Come on now. Is it showing?
Come on. Yes. No time.
Oh, listen, man. Listen, I'm pressing return. Yeah, there we are. Y'all can see it. You all can see it, right?
It's perfect.
Can you see it?
Yeah, it's great. It's just like that.
No, perfect. Listen, I had it up, man. No, you hang on, man. This is it, right? Now you can see it.
Here we come.
There we
go.
All right.
Look at that guy.
So, listen, we're giving credit to this is the way forward right here. Right?
That's the trail. That's the trip.
Yeah. And then you got this amazing barn. You got this amazing family, Corey and kids, and you just... What I love about Stephen, I mean, he just had he left early, the coach thing, to go to the high school graduation. He puts his family first.
Right.
Multiple books out there, but Todd, I know Stephen just doesn't bring a co-author in, just by accident. I mean, this was very intentional. And maybe Todd, you land the plane with the subtitle, because this I think IP and intellectual property, and there's a line in the subtitle that just is it's speaking to me.
Yeah.
Unforced purpose. I'm like, dude, I love that. What does that mean?
Yeah, and Carrie, you nailed it. This was Stephen's. This was his brainchild. This was something he's been working on for a long time. The invitation in was a huge honor. I mean, really,
Yeah.
it was an invitation to be a part of something that somebody truly has had a vision for decades. And so, totally honored to be invited in, and to not just get to spend the time with him on trail, but then get to work on a book together and see what the Lord's been doing on trail versus what the Lord's been doing in his heart and throughout him, distributing the tool, and excited for that to be launched into more hands. And he too came up with that phrase of unforced purpose. And the moment he said it, we might have been on the phone with you. It's like everybody just was, oh man, that's it. Like that's the goal.
That is
Because
the goal.
Purpose, what's crazy, we
Yeah.
actually tried to design a curriculum around purpose, and that was our first round of curriculum for folks going
Sure.
on trail. And to a T, people would get off and they're like, man, I couldn't nail down a purpose statement. That's too daunting. Man, I can't nail down a purpose statement. Man, I need more time to think about it. It's like we overthink it, but this idea of unforced is just like, no, just be you now. You don't have to have it all figured out. Just be present. Be where your boots are. Be present. Have the perspective where you're looking around to see what God's up to. And then that third P is posture of like leaning in, just expectant of like God's up to something, and I'm excited to see what He's up to. And so it's not having to manifest it on your own. Jeff Spadafora said it. It's more like archaeology than it is architecture. You're discovering it.
Oh,
You're not
that's
having to
good.
build it. And I love it because it really is. Yeah, it's just this. It's this idea of unforced. And man, we want unforced. We want to be alive. And I think the book gives you an opportunity to see it more clearly and then take your steps into it. You don't have to work harder. It's being present in the moment, and it's having your eyes opened to see with new eyes, not the lies you've been believing, but what the Lord has for you.
This is big, folks. Get the book, read it. It is an adventure. And then you may, what do they say? IRL, in real life. Like you may actually go on the mountain experience as well. But guys, I'm super proud of you. You said yes to God. When you say yes to God, things open up. You're here. You're at the finish line, but it's really just the starting line.
Let's go.
And I'm excited to see what's all going to happen from this.
Well, I just want a big shout out to you, Carrie. Thank you. You wrote the foreword. I think that's the right term for it. So grateful for that as well. And just shout out to the team, the Igniting Souls team.
Oh, awesome.
Lynn, who helped bring it to life as well.
Yeah.
So just a big thank you. It's hard to make the invisible visible. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You guys have been a dream to work with. An inspiration. You've just been continuing to be encouragement along the way. We're grateful for you.
Fantastic, guys. Thanks so much. And get the book today, folks. Share it, spread it. Get a men's group around it, women's group around it, church group around it. Read the book, Unstuck and Alive. We all need it. Take care.
Let's go.